What's up, Trash Panda family? Today we're talking about steering upgrades for the front end of our 06 Nissan Frontier, but these tips should apply to any steering setup using Heims in place of ball joints. Pictured here is a Heim steering conversion kit that we ordered from a Nissan-specific vendor that we're not going to name in the video. What is not pictured that came with the kit is the aluminum tie rod extensions. As you can see, this particular kit comes with a tapered Heim adapter that fits into the Nissan steering knuckle, as well as the other half of the Heim misalignment spacer that fits into the Heim joint. And for whatever reason, the vendor ships this kit with a grade 8 coarse thread bolt for each of the Heims. Pictured here is a coarse thread bolt next to a fine thread bolt, and you can see that the fine thread bolt has more threads per inch. Now, I am not an engineer, but there is plenty of information on the internet from reputable sites that verify that a fine thread bolt has several benefits over a coarse thread bolt. When compared to a coarse thread bolt of the same diameter, a fine thread bolt has greater shear strength and greater clamping force. As you can see here, the fine thread bolts also allow for a little more adjustability. Even though we'll spend a few more bucks upgrading to fine thread bolts, it's money well spent as it's going to improve the safety and strength of our steering system. Speaking of safety, we also picked up another little upgrade from the folks at Barnes 4-Wheel Drive. These heavy-duty, larger diameter safety washers are designed to keep the cage of the Heim joint attached to the steering knuckle in case of a failure of the Heim ball. So when Grady and I ran to our local hardware store to get some fine thread bolts, we also picked up some slotted nuts. Now, we bought some slotted nuts so we could mimic a safety feature of a factory ball joint, which is a cotter pin running through the bolt that keeps the slotted nut from backing off. While we were at it, we picked up a couple of hex nuts that were the same thread pitch as our fine thread bolts, and I'll explain why we did that here in a second. First, we need to install the Heim joints on the steering knuckle and then take a measurement of how far from the end of the bolt we need to drill the hole for the cotter pin. With that measurement in hand, we'll use one of the extra hex nuts that we bought as a flat surface to drill through and a drill bit guide, so the tip of the bit doesn't deflect to the left or the right if we were just trying to drill through the bolt itself. We used a 1/8 inch drill bit to drill a nice clean hole right through the center of the bolt. This will allow us to run a 3/32 cotter pin without any issues. The last part, of course, is just final assembly. The fine thread bolt allows us quite a bit of adjustability in the slotted nut, and we can get it within an acceptable torque range that also allows us to insert the 3/32 inch cotter pin. The bolt upgrade, the safety washers, and of course the cotter pins and slotted nuts give us quite a bit more safety for not much extra money. That's it for this episode. As always, thanks for tuning in to Trash Panda Garage, and we'll catch you later.